like a goddamn 2-foot catwalk, right? You can't even dodge to the side against that thing. So that's a much bigger factor than not being able to interrupt him or shit like that. So Brute will be okay. It's just not perfect. I don't see where it has any bigger advantage over the other two, where it does have a disadvantage. In theory, as far as I know, the other two can stop every burst. The Brute cannot stop every burst. So the Brute doesn't seem to have anything extra going for it to cover the fact that it's going to lose to some bursts. I don't know. But it's just those things that are they're just poorly designed, like giant enemies on tiny little catwalks. Just situations that put you in, you're just not designed to be able to do what you want to do. Oh, you're in a cave, endless cave after cave after cave. You walk into this room, oh, there's a fucking Cyclops and a gorilla one in there. Fantastic. This is going to be great. I have 5 feet to move around in. That shit is way worse than anything else about like little tiny idiosyncrasies. Just badly designed like level space and enemy encounters. Random enemies are just in the weirdest spots and they're just meant to like be like, what the fuck do I do now? And then there's somebody throwing rocks at you from the other side. It's that shit. The Ninja Gaiden shit is the worst. I fight a fucking gorilla and a Cyclops in the last stage that I was on, man. I honestly can't tell you which one it was because every fucking stage is just Ninja Village and caves. That's all it is. You go through a Ninja Village and you come out fucking caves. Every stage I've done so far has been that. I don't know. Kamataichi might have been the boss, the ferret, or the one after that. I don't. Hell, might be the one I'm still on now. I honestly don't know. It's in the second area. It's like near the end of the second area, I think. You walk through a cave, like a tiny little cave. Like you walk in through the cave, and there's a Cyclops walking down the fucking hallway, and he's bigger than the hallway. And if you let him walk out into the room, there's a goddamn gorilla in the room already. It's shit like that that's ridiculous. I'm trying to think of specifically what stage it was. I think... I don't think it's the one that ends with the elephant guy, the army base. But it seems just like stage seems exactly the same. There's so many just fucking caves. I don't know the difference. What's at the bottom of the one that's like got a boulder that they push down on it? You like a Bugs Bunny cliff. You go down and back and down and back on the cliff face, and there's a guy that shoves a boulder, and down at the bottom of it. I don't know then. It might be a couple stages after that. I don't remember what orders bosses were in anymore. Oh, was I not been paying attention to what's been going on here on the game? I didn't change the scoreboard since the first set. I didn't even put my name on it. Honestly, I don't know, but I can promise you there was somewhere that I went that had a gorilla walk or a Cyclops walking down the hallway. Like you walk up behind him, you go into a cave, a cavern hallway with a Cyclops walking through. You come up behind him, and the room he emerges in has a gorilla in it, just sitting there chilling. But you could sneak attack the gorilla if there weren't a Cyclops walking around. But combine that with how many other layouts there are that are just like, okay, here's a Crow Tengu, that's fine. But there's also 2 Gaki on the right behind the corner, and they're going to surprise attack you. Oh, there's a 3rd Gaki up above that throws fucking rocks at you the whole time. I'm going to write a letter to Koei Tecmo. No, you could triangle when you come up behind it. The gorilla's just sitting there chilling. He's looking at something on the ground, I think. But as soon as you try to walk out, the Cyclops is going to see you because he's in the same room. The room's not big enough for you to avoid the Cyclops as soon as he walks in. I'm going to write a letter to Koei Tecmo and say, I will give you $100 if you make one video game that doesn't have anything throwing rocks or guns or snipers or lasers or rockets at you. I'm talking about Neo 2. Koei Tecmo, I don't think they've ever done such a thing. DOA would be the only game, technically. Every other thing that they do. Like like the Xbox era of Ninja Gaiden games, dude, all that shit was fucking snipers and rocket launchers. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, all that shit was aim snipers and rockets. Now Neo is just, they got goddamn rocket launchers. There's a guy, a soldier, who turns into a crystal yokai thing, and he fucking shoots like a rocket arm at you, for God's sake. Like, why do there need to be rocket launchers in every ninja game they make? That's what I hate more than anything. Like, encounters would be fine, but now you gotta deal with shit throwing stones and arrows and shit at you the whole time. Like, it's not necessary. All it does is just get you killed. Like, I love a lot of the things about the idea of the game. I just think they are not good at making, like, advanced games. You know what I mean? The levels are garbage. They're completely garbage, visually and layout-wise. They're too fucking long. Enemy placements are just random and don't make any sense. Like, if you could put this combat system into a Souls game, a real, like, Souls game with good design elements, it'd be fucking incredible. But I think this game is ruined by shitty levels that aren't fun to traverse, with meaningless shortcuts and terrible, like, hallways and cramped spaces and shit. And then endless, meaningless loot. Streamline this game a little bit instead of just cloning the first game. That really kind of bothers me that they didn't go full on Souls. They didn't make it one big ass world that connects. They made it an instance on the map, so when you exit you have to start over again. I fucking hate that. I hate having to go through a 2-hour stage, unlock all these shortcuts, only to, when I go back the next time, there's no fucking shortcuts. That's so stupid. So I guess those are bad design choices. That's what I mean about, like, so stupidly designed. There's no reason to be that, like, naive. Dude, most of these stages are 2 hours long. They are fucking massive. There's a forest part, and then there's a fucking ninja village part, and then there's caves, and then there's, like, a boss. Like, they're way too big. They all loop around in circles and connect, and through no, like, there's no purpose to them. There's no, like, progression, right? You can't tell, like, okay, I'm almost at the end, because the end is right next to the beginning, and the shortcut didn't help you any. They're just overblown and circular designs, and then they're all goddamn caves anyway. Put them in a Dark Souls 1 or a Bloodborne stage. It'd be so much more rewarding that way. That when you could go back to, your shortcuts are still open. You don't have to start the whole thing over again every time. I really hate that element of it. I would rather, like, there be a forest stage, and the forest stage is all, like, gorillas. Or a swamp stage, where all the enemies are all the snake women. Rather than going through a ninja village that has, oh, here's a gorilla, here's a Tengu, here's a snake woman, here's a crab. You know what I mean? The enemies are so random. Why wouldn't water-based enemies be near the water? I'd rather it be shorter stages that are like that. A 20-minute forest stage that's mostly gorillas.
Get your cameras ready, folks. This ain't gonna last long.
Round 1. Fight.
You don't know that. You don't know which ninja village I'm in. There's 100 ninja villages with caves behind them. You don't know which one I'm in. Tengu is definitely still toxic. I think Snake Woman is worse because it's the exact same thing, it's just unreadable. The Tengu, it just does nothing but counterattack you. You run in and hit him twice. If you're lucky, you can hit him twice before he does some other spin attack. The Snake Woman's the exact same thing, except she just backdashes you. She's like the exact same enemy, only she covers twice the ground. And that tail is just fucking something else. The Snake Woman is like a 5% more obnoxious Raven. Yeah, until you put those motherfuckers, the needles on your button. You putting your needles on your D-pad button? Pew. Pew. Fuck out of here, bitch. I got that. I got the cure for that shit. Put needles on one button and antidote on the other button. I'm good. I'm out of here. But yeah, that shit is annoying. But like, I really like fighting most of this stuff. I like fighting yokai, and I like fighting dudes. I still kind of hate dudes because they still break the rules of stamina. They can still just attack, and then they go and then they block, and then they don't get broken like you do.
Round 3. Fight.
Like, they can just block and attack. They break the stamina rules, but otherwise I think it's really fun. They get broken, but not the way yours does. If you get hit while you're swinging your weapon, and then you block, you're going to get stagger broken. I promise you that. They don't. They will block before you get to break them. Then you switch to an overhead heavy, and then you do that once, and they might get hit by it. Like, they can block way more than you can. They can attack way more than you can. And they have 30 times your health. I would rather fight guys that are closer to you skill-wise. Like, if I only had to hit guys 3 or 4 times cleanly, I would love that. The way that they do to me. That would be much cooler. Instead of having to sneak attack a guy with a triangle, and he still has half of his health left, and then I hit him with like a 4-hit combo, and he still has health left, and then he starts blocking. I mean, I can switch to Odachi and go to heavy stance, and it'll crack them over the head real hard, for sure. But that's useless against, like, hatchet dudes. A hatchet dude that'll just, like, block, and it'll counter hit everything you do. Like, that's part of the game. I'm fine with all of that. But they get too much from their stamina. They have an ability to continue to attack without running a stamina and block without running out of stamina the way that you do. Like, stakes are so much higher for you. You have to be smarter than they do, but not like the rate that you do. They will run out, but you're going to run out of attacking stamina before they run out of blocking stamina. You can do a 4-hit stance string out of mid stance, and they'll block the whole thing. You can key pulse and then do it again, and then you're out of stamina and they're not. That's the thing. Like, there's back and forth between it, but the point is